Hey, Cohesive Homies. Welcome to episode 36, where we talk about the art of making a home. Or, in other words, homeyness. Get it?
I am so all about this, especially since fall is on its way here in the Northern Hemisphere, and I definitely have a cozy home on the brain. And maybe beeswax candles.
Yes. But first, a word from this episode's sponsor. Have you ever tried a Kind bar? You might have seen them in your local grocery store, coffee shop, or gym. They make delicious, healthy snacks using whole ingredients that you can actually recognize and pronounce.
And since my kids are gluten-free, it's one of the few bars I always keep in my bag to keep the hunger at bay.
Same here. My mom especially always has them stashed in her cupboard because she knows that I love them, my kids love them, and we can actually eat them. So if you are ready to try some tasty and healthy snacks, we've got a special deal for our Cohesive Home listeners. You can try a sample box of 10 Kind bars for free, and all you have to do is pay the shipping. When you order the sample box, you'll also get to try Kind's Snack Club, where you'll receive monthly snacks at a discount and get members-only bonuses.
You shouldn't have to choose between your health and taste when it comes to snacking. That's why both award-winning chefs and nutritionists love and recommend Kind bars. I tried their 10 snack sample box, and my favorite is the almond and the coconut. It is a very simple bar, but it definitely hits the spot.
And I really like the dark chocolate cherry and cashew. It's delicious. So to pick up your free sample box, go to kindsnacks.com/cohesivehome. That's kindsnacks.com/cohesivehome. Thanks so much to Kind for sponsoring the Cohesive Home podcast.
So last fall, we recorded an episode called Living Seasonally, and we had so much fun doing that episode that we wanted to do a follow-up.
Yes. So we actually kind of coined a word, which I don't know if we made it up or I don't know.
Probably not.
We didn't. So we're actually calling that just feeling of comfort. We're calling it homeyness. And so we're just going to kind of touch on a few points of what that is to us.
Yeah, and Melissa and I were actually talking about this before we started recording about how, so often when we hear the word, like something being homey, we think that it has to be in a physical home. But like you were saying, Melissa, that's not always the case with you, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, so when I think of coziness or hominess, I don't actually think of the physical place that I'm at. I mean, I do. I think of my surroundings, but I don't think of it being in my home. Like it has to be my home or my space. I think of it as if I'm even traveling, say I don't know, where do I really want to go? I would love to go to Greece and be able to sit on a balcony overlooking the ocean and have a beautiful cup of tea and just feel comfortable and at ease. Like that's hominess to me.
Yeah. Well, and so, like when I think of hominess, I think of being around, family or close friends and just being totally present with one another or even with yourself, just being totally in the moment and not distracted by anything else.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because, being totally present, I think, is a very big part of this, being distracted, like with a phone or television. You don't remember. I was actually thinking about this the other day. What are the big moments in my life, like as a child, that I remembered, with my family? Do I remember going to movies? Okay, maybe it was a really, really good movie or something like Jurassic Park. I remember going with my parents. Like that was fun, right? Because my dad totally screamed like a little girl. It was awesome. But, I don't remember all the TV we watched and things like that. I remembered the moments when we were together around the table or traveling or, during Christmas time. enjoying one another's company with no distractions. So I feel like those
Yes.
are when you feel the most homey and make the most memories.
Yeah, and actually, last night, I didn't even tell you about this, Melissa, but we went to our neighbor's house for a bonfire. And, we all gathered around. They were all different ages, made s'mores together. I had my sweater on and the air was crisp. And then afterward, it was bedtime for the kids. I mean, it was like past bedtime. It was like 9. But so we're recording this right now. It's the weekend of the Perseid meteor shower in the northern hemisphere. And, Kirk and I looked at each other and we're like, hey, why don't we put the kids in their PJs and go drive out into the country and see if we can catch any of the meteors?
Oh, cool.
And so we did, and the 2 youngest ones fell asleep, which we figured would happen. But our oldest daughter climbed into the front seat with us. And, she sat on Kirk's lap, and we opened up the sunroof and just leaned our chairs back. And, it was like that complete feeling of being at home with my people
Yeah.
and making
Yep.
that memory.
Yeah. And you weren't actually in a home, you know?
You're
You
right, I
weren't,
wasn't.
yeah, with a fur rug or anything like that. You were you were in a car.
Which I think is like an important distinction, especially since we are coming to this from a minimalist perspective, is that we don't want to tell you like you have to buy all these things to feel at home, because from our angle, it's about the experiences and not the things.
Exactly. So other than like that was a great example, taking those even last minute, spur of the moment choices to experience something with your family. What are other ways that we can create hominess? It can be in a physical space, like your home. So what are maybe some things that would create hominess or help us to be homey?
Yeah, well, I think this is something that we touched on a little bit in this first episode we just did of our 3rd season just a few weeks ago. But having a few items around your home or wherever it is that you live that do have a little sentimental value. So for me, having photo art around our house of our travels and being able to see those. I have old handmade Afghans that have been passed down in our family that I love to curl up with. And so creating surroundings that are just comfortable and soothing can kind of evoke this sense of hominess.
Yes, especially textiles. I feel like textiles are always a good way to create hominess. For me, currently, I think the biggest thing for me is like you said, those items with sentimental value and a story. I feel like really, really create that that feeling of almost belonging in the world, right? So you're just like, yes, like this has a story, and it makes me feel so cozy when I drink my coffee from this mug. And so my thing is mugs. Like I love collecting them from places that I've been. Unfortunately, one of my favorite ones was from France. It was from this woman who did clay pottery, and we went and we saw her painting them by hand. And I bought a few items from her, and one of them was this coffee mug, and it broke recently, and I was so sad.
No.
It was like a death. I was like, oh my gosh, it broke. But I have one from Germany that I bought at like a flea market in my town that I lived in, and it's like when you have this piece
Yeah.
of memory like in your hand, or draped across your lap, it really does create that comfort and like soothingness. Is that a word? Soothing.
Sure, sure. Well, yeah, and not to knock on design trends, but if you're always chasing whatever's trendy and when you're, like creating your home, it becomes more about the design and less about what makes your family feel at home in the space.
Right.
And so, not saying that you shouldn't, use the latest design trends in your home, but think about if that is really going to give you a sense of comfort or not.
I don't have any money to do that right now with.
I know, right? I have to use those old Afghans. It's all I've got.
I can't buy anything else. Oh man. So I don't, and I don't know about you, Kate. Wait, that's a lie. I do know about you, and you would probably agree with me on this point.
Yes.
One major way that I feel just totally at peace and calm and just have that sense of warmth is when I'm eating good food. It's such a basic necessity for life, obviously. And
must sustain.
yes, and unfortunately, I feel like, not to be, negative on this, but some people can use it in a negative way. They have a negative relationship with food. However, with our family, if we're surrounding the table with friends and family and it is over a good meal, oh man, I don't know about you, but just the feeling of almost peace that comes over you when you know that you're having a good conversation and you're enjoying this meal, that really, really brings a sense of hominess to me.
Well, and Melissa, that makes me think of last summer when you and your family were here. And do you remember we went to that local deli?
Yes.
And we picked up all this delicious food and a bottle of rosé. Mm-hmm. And we had a picnic dinner on the beach.
Yes. Yes. And what's funny about that is I had memories of France that were kind of rekindled from that experience. And so you tie that all together and that was such an amazing time and a sense of comfort and joy. And we're just sitting on the beach with sand in our food probably too. But it was awesome. It was so great.
Yes. Yeah, and food is it is such an act of comfort, especially when you're gathering with others or you're cooking together and you're experimenting and you're making mistakes. But, just having those experiences and making it a ritual as a family or with your friends is just another way to bring hominess into your life.
Those experiences with food or, within your home or another physical space, they can be wonderful, but I think what really is like the kind of the cherry on the top is the fact that you can't really have all of that and feel hominess without being with the people that you feel comfortable with. So, you could be having great food sitting on the beach with complete strangers and maybe it just wouldn't be the same. But when you're able to completely be yourself and you're at ease and you're able to probably express yourself in a way that you're not judged or you're not condemned for the things that you're saying. Because I know with me, I have a way about me sometimes that my close friends understand me. They get what I'm saying. And they know how I'm saying it. And some people don't. They might take me the wrong way. And so I would feel uncomfortable and it wouldn't create that warmth and in that environment that we're talking about.
And, over time, you start to kind of develop this sort of language, of memories and just these experiences together that you can reflect upon. And those also create this sense of hominess. But, I think about our kids and being able to gift them the ability to just feel completely comfortable as who they are and to be who they are just called to be as people.
So I would definitely say some advice to everyone listening, and I'm definitely talking to myself as well. Maybe this fall you can try to encourage your family and yourself to have others around you and make them feel homey. Make them feel loved and welcomed into your home or whatever space, say it's around a bonfire, and create that sense of hominess through food or any sort of experience that you feel is right for your family.
Yes. Yes. So we want to encourage you to just think beyond the pumpkin spice lattes for fall and instead embrace the art of hominess in your home and your life.
And thank you again to our sponsor, Kind, makers of healthy and delicious snacks that are made without genetically engineered ingredients right here in the United States. To try 10 Kind bars for free, and all you have to do is pay shipping, go to kindsnacks.com/cohesivehome. That's kindsnacks.com/cohesivehome for all the details.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Head to cohesivehome.com to sign up for updates and receive a copy of our 24-page guide to creating your cohesive home. We'll see you this Friday with another Q&A. Until next time.